Today we're going to be looking at the all-terrain 24 liter from Prometheus Design Werx. So let's just dive right into it. Like the two other bags in this series, the AT24 is fully submersible and carries an IPX7 rating. The AT24 is primarily constructed out of 1000D RPET with a few of the certain key parts made with 600D RPET. RPET is basically just another way of saying recycled plastics, so it's a very environmentally conscious choice by Prometheus Design Werx, which is pretty consistent with a lot of the choices they've made to use environmentally conscious materials whenever they can. Let's get into the measurements. So the AT24 measures 20 inches in height, 9 inches in width, which can expand out to 11 inches in width when fully loaded, and 7 inches deep, and weighs in at 41.6 ounces or just 2.6 pounds. Starting at the top, you will notice one of 4 integrated haul handles. I'll mention that if you do have large hands, you may find it a bit challenging to get a full grip on this handle. You'll also notice the spring-loaded inflator nozzle, which is present in all 3 of the AT bags in this series, which is a spring-loaded nozzle valve for adjusting the bag's buoyancy or expelling excess air to reduce the bag's overall profile. This design feature also allows the AT pack to be used as an emergency flotation device. Even without inflating it beyond its natural air pocket, this pack will not let you sink even if you try, and we do try. So if you plan on using this as a dive bag, just be aware on this and deflate the pack accordingly. At the front, you will notice this 4.5 by 6 inch loop panel for marker lights, morale patches, or ID tags. Apart from putting morale patches and things on this loop panel, another great way to use it, for me, I find, is if you're commuting to work, perhaps on a motorcycle or on your bike, you can attach various lighting solutions such as these S&S Precision V-lights, which will basically help you to be identified by other, be more visible by other users of the road, cars, and other things like that. At the bottom of the bag, you will find 4 rows of lashing for attaching 1-inch webbing to the bottom, or any items such as perhaps a hard shell, a tarp, or a tripod, or any other things you might want easy access to and don't necessarily need to be kept dry. On the front, you'll notice a 7 by 6 3/4 exterior zippered organizer pocket to keep those smaller items quick and easy to access. This pocket features a YKK AquaGuard zipper and T-zip, and unlike the exterior pockets on almost every other dry pack that I've seen, this pocket is also waterproof. At the center here, you'll find a daisy chain with a D-ring clip point here, and that just allows you to have extra ways to attach your bag to various things such as the back of your bike or things like that. At the back of the pack, there is an internal frame sheet for enhanced comfort and load-bearing capability. The lumbar supports have been thermal welded, a technique commonly used for bonding PVC and PU materials, and was selected for its extremely durable end result. The removable sternum strap is on a ladder system, which allows the wearer to adjust its position for his individual preference. At the front of each of the shoulder straps, you'll find 5 rows of lashing for adding pouches, knives, lights, clips, or anything such as maybe an inReach or a handheld radio. The The pack also features load lifters and a removable padded hip belt, which are definitely nice to have when using the AT24 to carry heavier loads for extended periods. As an urban commuter though, I typically will remove the sternum strap and I will remove the hip belt. I don't really see myself using these if I'm not carrying that much weight in the bag itself. And the other thing that I'll mention about it is the way that it's designed. The hip belt doesn't really have any way to be stowed if you're not using it. This isn't a criticism of the design, however, as it does allow the hip belt to be as lightweight and low profile as possible. I typically stow the hip belt inside the pack because it's so light and low profile, it doesn't take much room inside the bag. On both sides of the bag, you will find two removable cinching straps, which are ideal for things like rod tubes, takedown paddles, or hiking poles. As with the other packs in this series, the AT24 uses a robust Derlin tooth waterproof main zipper to access the main compartment and to keep the gear dry. The T-poles, which are on a 3mm cordage along with thumb loops, provide leverage that you need to operate these zippers. One thing to note is that when using this, to make sure that the zipper is pulled all the way forward to ensure the seal. Otherwise, you could risk getting water inside the bag if the bag gets fully submersed. Mind you, as I had mentioned before, this bag is extremely buoyant, so the likelihood of it getting fully submersed is pretty unlikely, but better safe than sorry. Just make sure to pull the zipper all the way down. The main cavity is almost entirely void of any features, with the exception of a hanger for a bladder or your keys, and a roughly 7-inch by 6-inch hanging zippered internal organizer pocket. You can put things like your phone, a notepad, or anything you'd like in there, or things that I need to access quickly. I'll just have it out on this outside pocket, which is why it's really nice that PDW did make this pocket entirely waterproof. I've never seen that in any other dry bag backpack out there, so I really like that feature. The shoulder straps also feature Fastex buckles at the end of each of the shoulder straps to allow you to quickly dump your bag should you have to get rid of your gear quickly. I like the fact that it's got this kind of stretchy garage that keeps the buckle in there nicely. It also has self-policing straps to prevent any excess straps from dangling around. Another one of my pet peeves. So I really like that PDW has thought about all those things. Although it's easy to imagine using this bag during the summertime, during for the kind of water type activities that you purposely are putting yourself into, there are other situations that I could see this bag being very useful for. For example, say we were backpacking in the backcountry during the winter time, and perhaps we went a bit off course, and now we've been able to re-find our path, but now it's taken us on a detour route that now involves crossing a frozen lake. So what would you do? You're not really sure if maybe this lake is fully safe to cross, but it's not really wide enough to make it dangerous, so you assess the risk and decided that this is your best possible route. So in that case, you could then perhaps chop up some kindling, a bit of firewood, stuff it inside your bag, and then strip down to, say, your level 5s, throw all your insulating layers and other layers inside your bag to keep them dry. You cross the lake, and just before you hit the other side, the ice beneath you gives way, and you take a dunk in the water. And although you're able to get yourself out of it, the majority of your body and your clothes are now all soaking wet. So you manage to get yourself to the other side, open up your bag, pull out your kindling, set up your fire, and then put on your insulating layers, throw it on, and get that fire going as quickly as possible and get that rewarming process going. So thanks to the bag, all your gear, and now you have dry firewood for when you get over onto the other side. So that's one aspect of it in an outdoor kind of scenario. In a more everyday kind of scenario, say for example, again, for us who live in the Pacific Northwest, if your commute involves, say, cycling to work or riding a motorbike to work or something like that, the threat of rain is always going to be there, especially in the winter and rainy seasons, which take up the majority of our time here, basically from about November till about April. It's going to be pretty rainy. So having my stuff in my bag, my laptop, my camera gear, things like that, I know my bag and my gear is going to be fully safe. If I'm riding into the office, I got my dry clothes in there, and once I get to the office, I can pull it out and have my clothes fully dry. Alternatively, if you're, say, a photographer, you've got a lot of money invested in your camera gear, your drone, and all of the lenses and all that stuff, you want to keep it safe. So if you're someone that does that for a living, you'll want to have a bag like this to be able to keep your camera gear out of the rain and out of the elements, and because you never know what's going to happen out there sometimes. Or maybe not water, maybe it's snow, maybe you're in the Kalahari Desert where the sand getting into your gear is going to be just as much of a concern as water getting into your gear. So again, the 24-liter AT is a great candidate for this kind of thing. The unique inflator nozzle, the loop panel for attaching a variety of lights and identifiers, which is unique to this pack alone, and I've never seen that in any other dry bag pack out there, truly make this bag stand out for me. I hope you found this video somewhat informative and useful, and that it perhaps helps you decide whether or not the AT 24-liter from Prometheus Design Werx is the right product for you. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and put it in the comment section below. If we missed anything or there's anything that perhaps we got wrong, let us know that as well. As usual, I'm going to put the links for all of these products in the comment section below. Stay tuned, because in our next video, we're going to be looking at the Plat Attack Silks Alpha. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you guys outside.